So I'm there on the ground. My job is to go to a different village every few days and interview goat herders and seamstresses and farmers and, people that sell two things out of a kiosk at lunchtime, and people doing very small, specific business activities as survival, like survival entrepreneurship. And Village Enterprise provided this $100 grant, not even a loan, but something to like get them started and see what it's like to invest capital into your tiny venture. Like, hey, I have 10 chickens and now I can have 40. This is really interesting. What happens now? Can I sell some at the market and then have them come and build a fence and buy or whatever? You would watch these, like, it was a very approachable, very easy to understand, like intro to business, not the Silicon Valley intro to business and entrepreneurship. That was its own thing. This was a new way. They were entrepreneurs too. And it was so fun to see that, right? This is business as well. This is the same principles applied. The same concepts applied. So I got really excited about the entrepreneurship that I was seeing unfold in the stories of so many people that up until then, anyone like them, like a person living in sub-Saharan Africa that had very little financial resources, very few financial resources, I would be told the story of poverty and need. And here I was seeing stories of entrepreneurship. To me, it felt like a total opposite. And so I got super excited to share those stories. And I also got excited to connect my friends and family, people that I knew, and then beyond, ideally, right? Which ended up happening, but not with just those new stories, but a new way to get involved. Because, when you hear the same old sad side of a story, we all have sadness and we all have joy and we all have triumphs and challenges, and certain people have, of course, a lot more, but I felt like the truth of all the good stuff that was happening had been not put in the spotlight for me. And that was where the hope was. And that was where, when you see someone else in a different role, your role changes. So silly, but I talked about parenting books earlier and parenting theories and stuff. If you look at your kid and they're tantruming or something, you think my kid is just being such a problem. You come in a certain way with a certain role and a certain goal, right? But if you think my kid is having a problem, you come in soft, you come in compassionate, you come in wanting to be a teacher, not a disciplinarian, not a let's get this locked down, right? You come in wanting to connect differently. So when you hear a story about poverty, certain stuff is activated. You want to come in and help and be the savior, whatever. When you see a person who's like an amazing entrepreneur doing so much with so little, I come in with admiration and awe, and at best, like maybe I'd be privileged to like partner with this person and be helpful. But it's a different set of feelings and thinking and belief was activated for me. So it made sense to connect differently, not through a donation, which is, I'm not bashing donations, fine and appropriate and needed, and it's a whole thing. But wouldn't it be fun, I thought with my co-founder, Matt, wouldn't it be fun to connect differently through a loan? That would be interesting, because that's what a lot of these individuals needed. The grant was a unique thing that Village Enterprise did, and it's a wonderful way to get things started. From there, a lot of the individuals I met wanted a loan, sometimes $200, $300, $400, very small. But being not a high net worth donor myself, this is the other funny piece. So there were kind of three big insights. One, what if we like shared this new story and kind of stayed in touch with this amazing goat herder or whoever? What if we stayed in touch and shared the story, right? And followed their progress? What if we connected through a loan, even a 0% loan? Wouldn't that be interesting, right? And what if we did that? Because I didn't have the cash, I didn't have the money to do that, certainly for more than one person, maybe. What if we did that by like rallying our friends and family to help pitch in? Now, I say that because it was so early in the game. We weren't using the word crowdfunding. That wasn't a word. That wasn't a thing. We were like, there'll be a lot of little bits of money from lots of people. Isn't that interesting? So it was crowdfunding, but it was very, very, very beginning, early days. So that became all these what ifs became the pilot round of loans for Kiva. It was about $3,100 needed for 7 people in Uganda. The money came like, we didn't even have online payment processing at the time. It was just an idea and some pictures on a website. And, my grandma handed me a 20. It was a funny exchange, but we got it done. We sent 3,000 or so bucks over to East Africa, over to Uganda. It got dispersed to 7 wonderful entrepreneurs. They were paid over the next 6 months. In the meantime, I started business school, which was a fun place to be when all this was starting to happen. It was a great like side project while I was actually learning about business and entrepreneurship to have a thing going. Anyway, So the pilot round was about $3,000. That was in, '04. In the the fall of '05, we said, let's do another round of loans. And, we launched the site for real, took the word beta off of the little website that we'd passed to friends and family. And then that first year we did 500,000 in loans. The next year it was 15 million or so in loans, the next 40, the next 100. And I actually did not check recently, but Kiva's well over 1.5 billion in loans today. And it's in these $25, $50 bits, from well-intentioned, generous people all over the world that want to empower and provide an opportunity to other really wonderful people all around the world that happen to be in the place where they need access to capital and don't have the resources that you and I do to get that.
Incredible.
So,